Welcome to Movie Rec. Today, we are listing our top recommendations for murder mystery movies. This is the second part in this series. Don't forget to check our previous videos. Note that the numbering are not done according to the ranking. And Then There Were None is a 1945 film adaptation of Agatha Christie's best-selling 1939 mystery novel of the same name, directed by René Clair. It was released in the United Kingdom as 10 Little Indians, in keeping with a later United Kingdom title of Christie's novel. It has a rating of 7.4 on IMDb and 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
The general was killed.
My dear Blore, can't you read? 8 little Indian boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay there, and then there were 7.
7 guests, a newly hired secretary and 2 staff are gathered at a manor house on an isolated island by an unknown absentee host and are killed off one by one. They work together to determine who the killer is before it's too late. René Clair weaves the quintessential spider web with brilliant camera work, including unusual but effective angles, snappy dialogue, and magnificent performances by 10 impeccably cast artists. The viewer is drawn into the anxiety, claustrophobia, terror, and resignation. Any mystery, suspense, or thriller fan will be incomplete without seeing this work of absolute genius. It is the masterpiece of murder mysteries. Wind River is a 2017 neo-Western crime film written and directed by Taylor Sheridan. The film stars Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen as a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service tracker and an FBI agent, respectively, who try to solve a murder on the Wind River Indian Reservation in Wyoming. It has a rating of 7.7 on IMDb and 88% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
So why don't you come hunt one for me then?
This is a truly gripping, engaging, and dramatic film. The first thing anyone will be aware of is the quality of the production values. It is superbly made, gloriously acted, and meticulously filmed. A very classy production indeed. You have to credit the sheer quality of the source material, a wonderful and sad plot, with plenty of twists and turns. Murder mystery fans will enjoy, thriller fans will also enjoy. There are some truly big moments, one that will make you empathize with the victim's family, one that will leave you with your mouth open as a big fight occurs.
Luck don't live out here.
Witness for the Prosecution is a 1957 American legal mystery thriller film co-adapted and directed by Billy Wilder and starring Tyrone Power, Marlene Dietrich, Charles Laughton, and Elsa Lanchester. The film, which has elements of bleak black comedy and film noir, depicts an English courtroom drama set in the Old Bailey in London. The picture is based on the 1953 play of the same name by Agatha Christie and deals with the trial of a man accused of murder. It has a rating of 8.4 on IMDb and 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, it's not true.
You told them that he was at home with you at 25 minutes past 9, and now you say that was a lie.
Yes, a lie. I told them what Leonard wanted me to say.
Were you lying then? Are you lying now? Or are you not in fact a chronic and habitual liar?
Witness for the Prosecution may wrap itself up a bit smugly, even as it spins a sharp twist, but it still stands as one of the more notable courtroom dramas even as it crackles along on a sort of contrived artifice. This Oscar-nominated courtroom drama represents Billy Wilder at his most theatrical and old-fashioned. But the saga is enjoyable, and so is the acting of all-star cast. Clue is a 1985 American mystery black comedy film based on the board game of the same name, directed by Jonathan Lynn, who collaborated on the script with John Landis, and produced by Deborah Hill. It stars the ensemble cast of Eileen Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren, and Colleen Camp. It has a rating of 7.2 on IMDb and 68% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mrs. White, who helped her husband on his way.
Well, it's a matter of life after death. Now that he's
6 guests are anonymously invited to a strange mansion for dinner, but after their host is killed, they must cooperate with the staff to identify the murderer as the bodies pile up. a deliciously ingenious and funny adaptation that lives up to the fun of the famous board game on which it is based and exhibits an amazing attention to details. While Tim Curry stands out in the great cast and completely steals the scene in the film's clever possible ending.
And madness. In the movie that makes a scene of the crime. Clue. It's not just a game anymore. M is a 1931 German thriller film directed by Fritz Lang and starring Peter Lorre. When the police in a German city are unable to catch a child murderer, other criminals join in the manhunt. It has a rating of 8.3 on IMDb and 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Das Resultat, bitte. Das Resultat.
Exceptional performances, packed with social commentary, M is a nail-biting thriller that is brought to life through its expert direction and techniques. A prime example of a must-see classic masterwork that is ahead of its time.
Wer ist der Mörder? Jeder kann es sein. Jeder ist verdächtig.
Du bist wohl verrückt, du Schweinsknoll!
M.
Rear Window is a 1954 American mystery thriller film directed by Alfred Hitchcock and written by John Michael Hayes based on Cornell Woolrich's 1942 short story It Had to Be Murder. The film stars James Stewart, Grace Kelly, Wendell Corey, Thelma Ritter, and Raymond Burr. It has a rating of 8.5 on IMDb and 98% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Of a very odd and strange art. The songwriter who plays the same melody over and over again. A genius or insane? This is the traveling salesman and his invalid wife. Out of their arguments and nagging comes a weird kind of love. Miss Torso, the body beautiful. That is, viewed from a safe distance.
A wheelchair-bound photographer spies on his neighbors from his Greenwich Village courtyard apartment window and becomes convinced one of them has committed murder. Despite the skepticism of his fashion model girlfriend, the most densely allegorical of Alfred Hitchcock's masterpieces, moving from psychology to morality to formal concerns and finally to the theological. It is also Hitchcock's most innovative film in terms of narrative technique.
전 10명의 부녀자를 죽이고 홀연히 사라져간 용의자는 공소시효 말소인 오늘로.
Confession of Murder is a 2012 South Korean action thriller film directed by Young Byung-gil, starring Yoon Yi-young and Park Si-hoo. It is about a police officer who is haunted for failing to capture a serial killer 15 years back, and returns to the case after a novelist publishes the book I Am the Murderer, claiming responsibility for the crimes. It has a rating of 7 on IMDb and 66% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
회계하고 이미지 막 깔끔하게 만들어가지고. 아이러니한 현 상황을 어떻게 생각하십니까?
식장 중에 이러는 게 더 아이러니해요.
This is a fast action film that has many plot twists, chase scenes, and standout performances. The film also fills the screen with spectacular stunt work, set pieces that thrill with both insanity and absurdity, and a generous helping of tension-releasing humor. Despite its inner conflict, Confession of Murder weaves a suspenseful, compelling tale that saves its surprises until the very end.
기자들 불러. 우리도 쇼 한번 하게. 여기서 끝내자. Fracture is a 2007 psychological legal crime thriller film starring Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling, and directed by Gregory Hoblit. It is the story of a man who shoots his unfaithful wife, and then engages in a battle of wits with a young assistant district attorney. It has a rating of 7.2 on IMDb and 72% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That someone who inflicted this kind of wound intended to kill.
Yeah, I wish to object. I don't know the legal terminology, but what would you call it when the officer who arrested you has been having sex with your wife?
This is getting out of hand.
The gun, it's no good.
What do you mean the gun's no good?
Never been fired. No prints, no weapon. No.
This picture is gripping, smart, and attention-grabbing, though complex at times. But there's no denying that the best thing in this movie is definitely Anthony Hopkins giving off a deliciously evil performance.
You haven't actually proved anything.
What are you doing?
He's just enjoying all of this. Someone's got to put him away.
You're trespassing, Willie. Not the smartest move.
We can have you arrested.
Ah, poetic.
I'm not going to play games with you.
I'm afraid you have to hold sport.
Andhadun, translated, Blind Tune, is a 2018 Indian Hindi-language black comedy crime thriller film co-written and directed by Suram Raghavan. It has a rating of 8.2 on IMDb and 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow! What a lovely surprise my husband gave me.
The film stars Tabu, Ayushmann Khurrana, and Radhika Apte, and tells the story of a blind piano player who unwittingly becomes embroiled in the murder of a retired actor. The film is all about clever writing, top-notch execution, and hard-hitting social commentary, but it is also a triumph of casting and an ode to actors. There's murder, betrayal, and a mountain of lies. In short, you can't look away.
Surprise!
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Scream is a 1996 American slasher film directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williams. The film stars Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Matthew Lillard, Rose McGowan, Skeet Ulrich, Jamie Kennedy, and Drew Barrymore. Released on December 20th, it follows high school student Sydney Prescott and her group of friends in the fictional town of Woodsboro, California, who become the targets of a mysterious killer in a Halloween costume known as Ghostface. The film satirizes the cliches of the slasher genre popularized in films such as Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Craven's own A Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream was considered unique at the time of its release for featuring characters aware of real-world horror films who openly discussed the cliches that the film attempted to subvert. It has a rating of 7.4 on IMDb and 79% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
He didn't make the rules.
The police are always off track. If they watch prom night, they'd save time.
He just kills by them. Don't answer the phone.
From the iconic opening scene to the twist ending that still works, it is a perfectly calibrated machine that serves up horror, comedy, and suspense in equally successful amounts.
Everybody's a suspect!